Much like today with the British-controlled Northern Ireland and the Independent Republic of Ireland, the Ireland of old was essentially separated into two parts. The Pale, modern-day Dublin where English law and order reigned, and the area beyond the Pale, where the Irish and Gaelic heritage and traditions were still largely followed. These days, the area beyond the Pale, that is outside of Dublin, isn't the wild land of the uncultured that it was once considered to be, but it's where we begin our trip to the Emerald Isle. After landing in Dublin, it's a 2.5-hour bus ride to the Atlantic coast and Galway, the island's 6th largest city. It was chartered in 1848, and this city was an important trade port in the Middle Ages. Part of that merchant history is still preserved in the Spanish Arch, where much of the cargo from Spain and France was brought in from port. These days, there isn't much cargo coming into the city, but there is plenty of culture, entertainment, and pubs for both locals and tourists alike. Shop Street in central Galway is a nice place to take in all three, though the waterfront has its own charms. Take a stroll down Shop Street, or indeed near any pub in Galway, or in Ireland for that matter, and you're likely to hear traditional Irish music, better known simply as trad, being played live.
People might have heard snippets of Irish music or Irish influenced music in their lifetimes, and they arrive in Ireland and they've heard that this is a thing. So there'll be trad music going on and there'll be drink being taken. So people will get kind of swept up in this, and if you're not used to it, it might be very enlivening to you and very enjoyable, and you'd enjoy it.
Roughly an hour and a half down the coast from Galway is the country's iconic cliffs of Moher. Not for those who are fearful of heights, the cliffs tower over the Atlantic anywhere from 390 to 702 feet above sea level, with little to break your fall should you lean a bit too far over the edge. Thanks to its amazing views, this place is one of Ireland's most popular natural tourist attractions, drawing some 1 million travelers per year.
Besides just being popular for tourists, the Cliff of Moher is someplace you've probably already been in the cinema. It was in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, but people about my age would probably know it better by another name.
See? The Cliffs of Insanity!
The cliffs have also seen screen time in a number of other films, including the 1973 movie The Macintosh Man and the 2014 comedy The Yank. Heading back towards Dublin, we hop on a train and head east for an hour and a half until we reach the town of Tullamore. The town dates back to ancient Gaelic Ireland, but was never fully incorporated until the 1500s when the British made it part of the island's first plantations. Tullamore has the dubious distinction of being the site of the world's first aviation disaster when, in May of 1785, a hot air balloon crashed in the town, creating a massive fire that destroyed some 130 homes. While no physical evidence of the disaster exists anymore, the event is forever memorialized in the town shield in the form of a phoenix, a symbol of the town rising from the ashes to begin anew. With a current population of roughly 16,000 people, Tullamore is a quaint and quiet town to visit with a number of nice pubs, shop-lined streets, a beautiful Catholic church, and a rather impressive park considering the town's size.
Now, with the town of Tullamore with its parks and beautiful shops, it's just a fun, pleasant place to visit. The real star of the show is right behind me, the Tullamore Dew Whiskey Heritage Center.
A triple distilled Irish whiskey, Tullamore Dew is one of Ireland's most famous exports. It's been produced since 1829 in Tullamore, save for a 6-decade period when the drink was distilled in County Cork to the south instead. The whiskey's new distillery is based just outside of the town, while the company's old storehouse is now used to provide tours and tastings for both tourists and locals. Hopping back on the train and heading eastbound for one more hour brings us back to Dublin, the capital of the Republic. It's here, in the island nation's most populated city, that tourists sometimes seem to outnumber the local Dubliners in areas such as Grafton Street and Temple Bar. Of course, on the rare, warm, and sunny Irish day, locals can be found flocking to parks like Stephen's Green to take in the sunshine and enjoy the afternoon. Dublin is home to many sites, including Phoenix Park and its Wellington Monument, Christchurch Cathedral, founded in the year 1030, and the Halfpenny Bridge, so called because it used to cost a halfpenny to cross the River Liffey. Perhaps most iconic to Dublin, however, are Trinity College and the Guinness Brewery.
For over 250 years we've been brewing here at St James's Gate in Dublin, and in fact right up until 1988 the very important fermentation process took place right here in this building at Guinness Works.
Located just outside the city centre, the Guinness Brewery sits on the same ground it was founded on at St James' Gate in 1759, when founder Arthur Guinness took out a 9,000-year lease to build the place.
But it just shows that Arthur was a man with great vision.
The agreement is proudly displayed on the first floor of the brewery for all who tour its grounds to see. The tour itself can be quite the adventure for the beer enthusiast, or simply anyone who wants to take in the views and a pint or two from the Gravity Bar located at the top of the building. The view is almost as good as the beer. Almost. Back in the city center, Trinity College is a major landmark. It was founded in 1592 by Queen Elizabeth I of England, and Trinity is still a functioning university today, though it also plays host to tourists, thanks to it being the home of one of the nation's most treasured pieces of history, the Book of Kells. Now, cameras aren't allowed in the viewing room where this middle-aged relic is housed, so you have to visit Dublin to see the book for yourself. Cameras are allowed, however, one floor above the book at the Long Room. It's nearly 213 feet in length, and the Long Room houses 200,000 of the library's oldest and rarest books. Adorned by busts of influential writers and philosophers, the Long Room's collection is impressive, and it includes such treasures as the 1916 Proclamation of the Irish Republic and a wood and brass harp that likely dates back to the 15th century. Ireland, the Emerald Isle, is a land that is truly enchanting. From its culture to its sights, its history and its people, it's a place that really sticks with you. It leaves an impression on you that makes it hard to leave when it's time to go home. And hopefully, probably, you'll be back.